I want you to use your imagination with me. Imagine the entire world gets disconnected from their GPS. Have you thought much about how dependent we are on our GPS? When you drive somewhere, you might be driving right now. Could you get there if the little blue line went away? If the voice stopped coming through your Bluetooth and telling you turn right in 900 feet and you're guessing like how far is 900 feet? Could you even make the turn? Would you know? Do you know the names of the roads between your house and where you go to work? Do you know the names of the roads between your house and where you go to church, if you go to church, where you go to a restaurant? Do you know how to get somewhere? Some of you can remember the MapQuest days where you print it off, the directions to a place. It'd be 15 minutes away, it'd be like 11 pages, and you're flipping through as you're driving, trying to pay attention to that. It's dangerous. Now, you remember those little it was just a GPS device you'd put on the dashboard, and you invested in one of those, then your phone could do it for you. Some of you might even be able to read an atlas. To the rest of us, you might as well be Christopher Columbus. We don't know how to navigate like that. We don't know how to do that. The other day, I was in a different town. It's about 40 minutes away from here. And on the way there, on the way to my meeting, I was running out of gas. And I went in, I had my meeting, ended up being on time, got out of there. And when I was leaving, I still didn't have any gas. But now I'm in a town I don't know. And it's a town where everything's being built, so everything's new. And it might be that one day something's going to be there, but it's not there now. And I remember the first time I was en route in my GPS telling me to go to a gas station, I showed up and it said those beautiful words, "You have arrived." I love hearing that. It makes me feel good about me. I did something good that day. There's not many areas in my life where I arrive. But I arrived, but then I look and I said I was going to a gas station and there's no gas station. And maybe one day there'll be a gas station, but there's not a gas station today. Just a dirt pad. So I try to get out of there, and it takes me to a place where there's no road. And I'm looking, it's like I went past a totally perfectly fine turn, and now you're telling me to turn, and there's a gravel pathway that goes for about 10 feet, and there's nothing. There's not even a road here. I know we sent astronauts around the moon recently. I don't know if they bumped the satellite that was pointing at the town I was in, but this isn't right. Eventually, my GPS got me to a spot where I could see a gas station, but there was a construction fence in my way. And I didn't even know where I was at anymore. I was the one behind the wheel the whole time. I was driving the vehicle. I was listening to the voice. I was following the directions. But how did I get here? And where am I? Can you imagine if the whole world lost GPS deliveries and what that would do to the supply chain? Your Amazon packages would stop coming. Restaurants would stop getting stock. No one would know how to get to the restaurant. DoorDash guy couldn't do his job because he doesn't know how to get to your house. You'd probably call into work and say, "Boss, can I work remote?" And he'd say, "Are you sick?" And you'd say, "I just don't know how to get there." The whole world would be lost. What if that's true? Jesus says an interesting statement in Matthew chapter 7. In Matthew chapter 7, he's talking about these two gates. Listen to what he says. Matthew chapter 7, verse 13. He says this, "Enter through the narrow gate. For wide is the gate." So there's two gates. "Wide is the gate, and broad is the road that leads to destruction. And many enter through it. But small is the gate, and narrow the road that leads to life. And only a few find it." That's interesting, especially in light of most of our cultural experiences in America. Most of us have been to a funeral. It doesn't matter if the person who at the funeral was a good person, not a good person. Somebody says something like this: they're at peace now. They're with the Lord. They're in a better place. And maybe it was true at that funeral, but it can't be true at all the funerals. If Jesus is right, it says, narrow is the gate, and few travel on it, the path to it. But wide is the gate to destruction. Two gates. You know the thing that's really interesting to learn about the wide gate is that most people that'll travel through that gate are going because it's the easiest path. It's what all the other voices are telling them to do. They're just trying to get a good job and not hurt anybody and take care of their family, and they're not doing evil things. They're not hurting people, but they don't know that the default mode of the GPS of their heart is destruction. And they assume it's not. Proverbs chapter 14 says it like this: there's a way that seems right to man, but in the end it leads to death. You come to Matthew chapter 7, there's really two options. Either Jesus is wrong and culture's right, or there's a lot of people that are thoroughly convinced of something that's wrong, that they're headed to heaven, but do they even know the real Jesus? 82% of those who believe in heaven believe that they'll be there one day. What about you? Do you believe that most people will be in heaven? Do you believe that you will be in heaven? Jesus says there's only one way to get there, and it's through him. He says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me. That all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. That the wages of our sin, what we deserve, is separation from God. But there's a gift. The gift of God is eternal life. And you have to receive that gift. It's free. But let me tell you something. It'll cost you everything. It's free because Jesus paid for it. It's free because he did all the work. But it costs you everything because you've got to surrender your life to him. He wants all of your heart. When you take the weight that you've been carrying of leading your life and put it on him and go wherever he tells you to go. Die to yourself, your own control, and follow his desire for your life. If so, he promises he'll save you and put you on the pathway of the narrow gate, the narrow road that few travel on, and you're invited. That's the ironic thing. Everyone's invited. But most people don't accept the invitation. Will you? If you'd like to, will you pray this prayer with me today? Dear God, I know that I'm a sinner. I admit my sin to you, and I believe that your son Jesus is the Son of God that came to take away the sins of the world, to forgive us and give us life. And I want to receive that forgiveness. I want to receive eternal life. And I confess that your son Jesus is Lord, and I surrender my life to him. If you do that, Romans tells us, if you believe in your heart that God raised Jesus from the dead, and you confess with your mouth that he is Lord, that you will be rescued, you'll be saved, you'll be put on the narrow path. I'd love for that to be you today. If it is, would you put it in the comments? Say, I just prayed that prayer, and I'd love to send you some information about how to grow in a relationship with Jesus. I don't need you to give me any money. I'm not going to harass you with 50,000 emails, but just tell me so I can pray for you, maybe help you get started in a walk with Jesus, help you get connected to a church. If you've done that before, you know someone who needs to hear this message, would you share this with them? Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and until next time, live on mission and unleashed.